a tale of suspicion and truth. It was our third wedding anniversary, and I had been counting down the days for months. Josh and I had planned a romantic getaway to the Smoky Mountains, cozy cabins, breathtaking views, and delicious southern food. Everything was set, and I couldn't wait to spend quality time with him. The drive to the mountains was beautiful. The winding roads lined with vibrant autumn leaves. I remember leaning my head against the window, watching the landscape blur past as Josh hummed along to the radio. We had always loved road trips, and this one felt special. Or so I thought. The first 2 days were idyllic. We sipped hot cocoa on the cabin's deck, explored charming shops in Gatlinburg, and indulged in mountain delicacies. Josh seemed happy, and I let myself relax. But on the third morning, he casually suggested a change in plans. "Hey, Em, I signed us up for a guided overnight hike," he said, sliding a brochure across the table. "Something adventurous to spice things up." I've never been much of a wilderness person, and the thought of an overnight hike made me uneasy. Overnight? In the wilderness? You know, that's not really my thing. Josh chuckled. "Come on, it'll be fun. The guide says the sunrise is unforgettable. You'll love it." Though hesitant, I agreed, trusting him. But as the day went on, an odd unease settled in my chest. While strolling through the quaint streets of Gatlinburg later that afternoon, I spotted someone familiar. My best friend Chloe stood outside a boutique, her eyes widening when she saw me. "Chloe, what are you doing here?" I asked, my voice tinged with confusion. She hesitated, her fingers nervously tugging at her scarf. Just needed a little getaway, to clear my head." Her presence felt too coincidental. Chloe never mentioned plans to visit the Smokies, and I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. My mind raced with possibilities, each darker than the last. Was she here to meet Josh? Could they be involved? By the time we returned to the cabin, my thoughts were spiraling. I tried to dismiss my suspicions as irrational, but the seed had been planted. That evening, as we packed for the hike, Josh stepped out of the room, leaving his phone on the nightstand. A message notification caught my eye, and my stomach twisted as I read it. "Chloe, can't wait for tomorrow. Will we finally be together after the hike? I love you." My heart sank. The truth was undeniable. Josh and Chloe were having an affair, and this overnight hike, it wasn't about bonding or adventure. It was a setup. My mind flashed to every true crime show I'd ever watched. He was planning to kill me. I felt sick, but forced myself to stay calm. I needed a plan. While Josh packed in the other room, I discreetly called the local police, explaining the situation and sharing my fears. They promised to have officers waiting along the trail and to detain Chloe as an accessory. The next morning, I followed Josh up the trail, every step heavy with dread. When we reached a secluded spot, he paused, glancing around. That's when the officers emerged from the trees, their presence shattering the sinister moment. Josh's face twisted in shock as they placed him under arrest. Chloe was picked up shortly after. The aftermath was grueling. The divorce and trial were emotionally draining, but justice prevailed. Both Josh and Chloe faced the consequences of their betrayal and crimes. After the dust settled, I moved back to my hometown and tried to rebuild my life. Trust didn't come easy anymore, especially with men. Every smile or kind gesture felt like a potential threat, a hidden agenda waiting to surface. But life has a way of surprising you. 6 months after the trial, I joined a local hiking group, partly to conquer my lingering fear of the wilderness and partly to stay active. That's where I met Ryan. He was kind, patient, and had a calming presence that put me at ease. We started as friends, exchanging hiking tips and swapping stories about our favorite trails. Despite my wariness, Ryan's sincerity slowly broke through my defenses. He never pushed, never rushed. He understood my need for space and earned my trust over time. We grew closer during our group hikes, but I remained cautious. One evening, as we walked back to our cars after a long trek, he casually mentioned his own heartbreak. His fiancée had left him 2 years ago, and like me, he was wary of starting over. His vulnerability mirrored mine, and for the first time in months, I felt a glimmer of hope. You know, he said, kicking at a loose pebble on the trail, sunrises have a way of reminding you that every day is a chance to start fresh. Those words stayed with me. Slowly but surely, Ryan became a part of my life. We spent hours talking, hiking, and rediscovering the beauty of simple moments. On the anniversary of the day Josh and Chloe were arrested, Ryan surprised me with a sunrise hike. At the summit, we stood in silence, watching as the first rays of light painted the sky in hues of orange and gold. "Thank you for trusting me," he said softly. "Thank you for giving me a reason to," I replied. "Though the scars of my past remain, I've found a new kind of happiness. Every sunrise I see reminds me of the strength I found within myself and the new beginnings that await beyond even the darkest moments."